What a beautiful charge! Oh, this is fine. Oh my god, it's what a save! Okay.
Welcome back, everyone. My screen name is Covert Muffin, and I am joining Sigma here to cast Eviona versus TheSparik. Sig, what's up, dude?
Yo, we just got off of the Wilson versus Oshi match, and we're looking for another lower bracket finals match. This one's gonna be pretty darn good, don't you think?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. Like, first of all, Eviona is like one of the more interesting runners to watch because they have like a really, really small resolution. So we're gonna see a gigantic mouse cursor, but don't let that detract from just the insane level of gameplay we're gonna see from. And then TheSparik just being able to battle through a lot of pretty difficult matches himself has been very, very impressive to watch. I mean, picking off Delira in the round of 32 in the lower bracket is no mean feat. So this is going to be pretty interesting for you, right, Sig?
Yeah, that's why I'm signed up to commentate this one. I want to check out the competition from the best seed in the house. I got to see how these guys do because they're going to be facing me in the division finals, whoever wins this one. And honestly, I don't know who's going to win this one. Eviona definitely has the PB advantage, and if Eviona plays like to the top of the game, it's well, we have a stats sheet here, but something went wrong. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, don't worry about it. So yeah, Eviona has just been really impressive to watch. Like, especially in the late game, their Misty play is just really insane to see working their way through that section. Especially, there's lots of really compact and complex movement, and not all the stomp cancels for the charge dashes are always the same length. So being able to minimize the time between the charge dashes, but then also measure them out, is just really an impressive feat to watch Eviona work through. But also just watching TheSparik in his previous matches has just been really excellent as well. But yeah, we do see the graph in the bottom left is actually accurate. These are the stats from the runners, and so these are from the matches from the tournament, right, Sig?
Yeah, aren't these the Oshi Wilson stats though?
Oh wow, maybe. Yeah, so the graph in the bottom left says Eviona and TheSparik.
Oh, you're right. Oh, the graph's right. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
This looks it looks a lot like the Wilson Oshi graph though. I don't know what's going on. There's numbers, and Eviona's mid game might be like really, really good, which it does not surprise me.
Maybe it's just the names, because the biggest mouse cursor, lowest resolution in the Ori community definitely is true for sure, but...
Dude, you're right. What the heck? I'm so confused. But anyways... No, all these stats totally are right. The PBs are right. Alright, so
yeah,
Eviona's on the left here.
Yeah.
TheSparik's on the right.
Nailed it. Oh my goodness. But yeah, anyways, that being said, as you were saying, Eviona has the PB advantage, right?
Yeah. And actually, you know, heck, it's out of date too. Eviona's got a 2939, recently PB'd in the last few days.
Wow. That's pretty crazy. And TheSparik's PB is definitely really good. Once you start dipping into the lower 30 ranges, that definitely requires a lot of optimization of the movement and ability to just be able to get some really difficult tricks consistently. And so TheSparik's probably going to be hoping for Eviona to make a slip-up or two, but if Eviona just plays this game really strong and gets close to their PB, I imagine that they will be taking the victory today.
Yeah. I also do want to note that Spark stats are not on the right. Those are Oshi's stats.
Okay.
Spark's actually got like a 30... It's either a 30-something or a 31-something, a low 31. So
wow, okay.
I don't know what's going on. I hope the race starts soon so that we're saved from this.
That's okay. I just opened the leaderboard, so I'll take a peek at that.
Yes, dude. Get the backup stats.
Alright, yeah, so we have Eviona's PBs at 29.45 on the leaderboard, but you mentioned they got a 39. So that's really good. And let's find TheSparik. TheSparik has a 31.39, so that's actually pretty close, Sig. You know, and once you start hitting that 31 range, we could see a potential great run from TheSparik. And if Eviona does make one slip up here, takes a big death from trying to put in the extra speed instead of the safety, that could be TheSparik's chance to catch up and pull a win here.
Yeah, that's for sure. And Eviona's races have not really, lined up with these like sub 30s or anything like that. Definitely had some more variable times, so anything can happen here. And there's the cursor. I thought I was ready for it, but I'm never really ready for it.
Yeah, and it looks like TheSparik's sum of best is actually also sub 30, so still has a good bit of leeway between that time and his PB. But it looks like our runners are underway. We have Eviona on the left, and TheSparik is going to be on the right.
Yep. And I do also want to note, Eviona has upped their resolution since the last game. This cursor is actually only about maybe 60% of the size that it was last time. So you got some luxury here. There's a lot of extra pixels available.
I'm glad the cursor is still showing up on the screen as well. It's just it's going to be insane once Evie gets bashed, but right now we don't really have many skills. In fact, we're about to pick up our first one, which is going to be Sign, and we're going to see how our runners pace through the initial Frankie fight.
Yeah, I'm not expecting to see too much of a difference between these players here, but any little hiccup through this section can lose you a bunch of time. Ideally, you don't let go of right the entire time that you're running through here. You just shoot and keep running to the right constantly. But if you miss a shot or something like that, that can leave Frankie behind at 1 health and be a little bit of trouble. So let's see how it goes. Actually, Eviona misses a shot on the very first Frankie, trying to get that first one in early. So TheSparik will have a very, very small lead leaving the Frankie fight.
Yeah, it doesn't lose too much time to miss a single shot. It's like if you run away and then the Frankies stack on top of each other, and then it can become like a smorgasbord. But both runners being able to get through there cleanly is nice, and so sort of the next hurdle is we're going to see how our runners manage their health. Both of them nailing that flower pad. That can be another troll section, but upcoming here, this could be sort of the first differential that's greater than like 1 second.
Yeah, that's for sure. They're moving through nicely on both sides. Well, oh, and there's a health drop from Eviona. That might not be desirable because you want to get down to 1 health for this ghost door, and that may mean that they'll be okay.
Oh no!
Goodness gracious me. Okay, but they're through. I think now at 3 health potentially because that last slime dropped some health, but the fish is there to help out.
Yeah, the good news is that between 2 and 3 health, it doesn't really lose much of any time, because by the time you swim to the fish, you're taking the next proc of poison and water damage. So usually just like killing the slime and skipping it might actually save a little bit of time and then taking a damage boost through it. But Evie being able to get through there is nice, and actually is in a slight lead ahead of TheSparik, getting past this first mapstone pedestal. So nicely done.
Of course, the reason for that is that Evie goes for 3 health, so it's sort of a fake lead. Like, technically TheSparik's still ahead because he has more resources. It'll take Eviona time to collect an extra health cell later, but, tracking that kind of stuff is impossible. So for now, Eviona's a bit in the lead. It's faster to skip that health cell now and get some quicker ones later in the run, but that does mean that you're playing pretty much the entire time on 3 health until, like, the last 3 minutes of the run, basically. So that's why many people will collect that early health cell instead.
Right, Truche Sigma. And actually, Eviona, as you mentioned, was a little sparse on resources, had to mine for that experience as well, whereas TheSparik was able to damage boost through the spores, so catching up even a little bit more time from that. But both of them are at wall jump, and we're going to see how this plays out in the late game, but now they're going to be working their way towards Blackroot Burrows. And I think both of them are going to level up on the way out, yeah.
Yep. Runners being so courteous, turning the UI on for us there, so we can actually tell what's going on. That's always nice.
Yeah, it's so nice. I love it, like, mouse cursor language as well, when they, like, circle certain things. So if they know they're low on EXP, or they have too much EXP, or they're low on health, they'll open up their UI and, like, circle it, and it doesn't, like, actually do anything, but it's, like, so nice as a spectator.
Oh, yeah, that's for sure. And both players damage boosting on out of the elbow area here, so Eviona will be at 2 health right now. Oh, goodness gracious, that was a little scary. So Eviona now on 1 health, TheSparik on 3. I would not be surprised to see Eviona either save or stop and get this health flower, and it's going to be a save. There's no required damage from here to the end of Glades, but that's why you place that save is because maybe. Oh man, went for that skip on the slime at 1 HP. No fear from Eviona, and we'll be heading into Black Root with. This is really unique actually. Eviona, Magnetless Genocide coming up right now.
Oh man, that extra quick flame might allow the slimes to die just a tiny bit faster, but it'll be interesting how they're gonna be able to work through without magnets. Like I've actually never seen this before.
Yeah, it's not easy, I'll tell you that. And that's that 1 health coming into play. You have to be really fast on jumping into the slimes as they die with this, because you don't have magnet to collect their experience. So you have to actually jump into all the experience. It's really hard to deal with this. And you know, Eviona doing a good job getting all those first 3 slimes. Movement has looked good so far, so is probably going to be set on the platform cycle, but that death lets Spark take a pretty significant lead here. And I do want to note, we're seeing the other version of Genocide here from Spark. He gets hit back by the Lantern Slime though, but no, his shot cycle is still good. His movement up to there was great, so he will be on the right cycle, and Eviona might not be now. Might have to wait. Oh, never mind. Wait, what?
Yeah, so Spark missed his first jump onto the flower pad, so he actually had to wait an extra cycle, and now that the platform's moving down, he's going to have to wait for those platforms to reconnect. So Evie is going to be able to catch the platforms, and their cycle is good. So Eviona being able to close a little bit of that gap just because of that platform manipulation.
Yeah, I was so sure Spark's platforms were set, but then I was like seeing him go through the lasers, and it's like, wow, these look really weird. So yeah. And Spark will be grabbing this top slime, which Eviona has to do it in a bit of a different way. It's kind of crazy. Like you have to jump over there, and then that like despawns the right room long enough to still make the cycle manipulation. Magnetless Genocide is pure craziness, and
Wow.
Only Eviona goes for it in this category. And as you can see, grabbing that cycle pulled it off pretty nicely.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, like how close the runners are, because Evie took a death right at the beginning of the review. No, Spark falls down, and so now he's going to have to wait for the platform to rejoin it and the orb to redrop safe. Oh man, that's brutal.
Yeah, that's rough stuff, and he doesn't even get a good platform cycle in the second attempt. So, man, falling there is pretty rough. But at least he didn't die to the laser. That's a far worse thing to have happen. But that'll give Eviona a pretty big lead heading towards the dash tree, because this room just takes forever. You're just sitting on these platforms for so long. And this time,
Spark, please.
Okay, it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, no worries. We're in there. Yeah, and you know, that death isn't too bad. It's going to give Eviona a lead, but don't forget that Eviona did not collect the health cell earlier on in the run, so Spark is going to have that working for him later in the run, but Eviona is going to be the first to make it over to Frankiwa.
Yeah, now Eviona's got oh gosh, that experience drop was not cooperative. Has to kill a couple more slimes just to get experience set up for Frankiwa. Flashes the UI on just to check. Yes, that is a good experience range, but now has to deal with Magnetless Frankiwa here as well, so well, most runners will just kind of kill the Frankie in their room by the energy door over on the right here. Eviona's actually gonna have to make sure it's very close to the edge, and then jump out into the experience, or you know, get the experience sucked up before he's weak natural magnet, and then you know, do the trick. It's much more difficult, so let's keep our eyes on the end of Eviona's front walk here. This is mainly the reason why players go magnet, so they don't have to put up with this. So here comes the extra jump. There's
yeah, nicely done, gets that, and got a optimal Frankia as well to save like a few seconds as well. So that was really nice, clean play from Evie. Not going to go for the Death Glide here. I like this decision, especially with Quick Flame, because each of those spores has 3 health, so you can just pace them down really fast and be able to get up there. And nice drops the safety save before the dash ramp over, and Spark is now going to be doing his attempts at the Death Gauntlet.
Yep. One thing that's cool is actually Death Glide is slower when you have Quick Flame, because you can kill the thing so fast. It's like better than waiting for the thing. And looks like that's a successful Dorado cycle there from Eviona. Spark will be just killing his way through these spores as well, grabbing that energy, and Eviona moving towards double jump now.
Yeah, this is really impressive too, because Eviona like took a death in BRB, and that can be a little rattling. But being able to work their way through that section and just be able to get through Magnetless Frankie Walk and then be able to pull off the Grotto cycle is really incredible. So Spark, if he wants to stay in this on the right, has to get this, and oh no! Loses 8 seconds there from having to wait for the Crushers to go through a cycle. So Eviona opening up a little bit of comfort here in the early game.
Yep, nice blind movement from Eviona, getting halfway up that right wall there on the way out of double jump. And we'll getting, oh no, the high five's dodged because Spark's hiding in the Crusher at the time, so not this time.
Yeah, Spark is having none of that. It's like, no, I don't want that high five. But yeah, Eviona on the left going for Grotto skip. I imagine that they're gonna do really well. Oh no, doesn't get it first try, sets up, and gets it second try.
That's really nice to see. That trick gets so much harder after if you don't get it on the first try, because the platform starts to swing and your position's a little bit different. But Eviona did a good job making it back up there. Spark on his blind movement now. Wow, okay, that was near perfect, almost all the way to the left wall by the time the camera cut off. That's great.
Yeah, that's incredible. Definitely making use of that 5-second time save from that blind movement, being able to make it over so far. And Eviona is going to be the first to reach Water Vein, but Spark on the right is moving up to his attempts at the Grotto skip. We're going to see exactly how he does here, Sig.
Yeah, Eviona got the second try, remember, and Spark making quick work of it.
Wow.
Really nice stuff there. And so he'll be moving up to Grotto. He's definitely playing this section really well. But Eviona not giving him any room to catch up right now. It's basically, other than that Grotto skip flop, just been absolutely great so far.
Yeah, really incredible. Evie's level of play has just been so clean here, and just a slight mix-up, not quite landing on the ramp, but just knows to float over and climb up on the wall on the left. And wow, just jumping over to the right side as well. Eviona is definitely showing off their hard work as like optimizing this movement section. And it's actually really deceptively difficult as well. But just going back to pit, make sure to pick up all 30 of that experience drop from the Frog before going up to collect this ability cell. So it looks like Evie is definitely going to be doing Terror Break.
Yeah, that's the indicator here. You need this extra ability cell, which is kind of okay. Some trouble. This is 1 health territory right now, so it's gonna race this spinner.
Oh no! Oh no! Evie takes a death, and look at this. Spark is very close behind, like almost at the same point. And now, yeah, look at that instant replay in the bottom left, just showing this. Oh man, that's so brutal. Taking a damage from that big slime just slowed Evie down just enough to not be able to get that spinner cycle as well. Oh,
Alright,
that's so brutal.
Eviona coming up onto this. Everything's going a lot smoother this time. Still hasn't taken any damage from the looks of things, so be through there. Spark, for his part, I think he got beat up a little bit during the level up. He either took 1 or 2 damage, and actually checks his UI. I really like that decision just to see what his health was, because it wasn't clear if he was at 3 or 2. So now he knows he's at 3 health, and that can be useful. Gives, a little bit of confidence coming up on the slime damage boost, because if he does mess it up, take 2 hits, he'll still be alive. But gets through with 1 hit nicely, and will be entering Ginso just a little bit behind Eviona, who gets a 12:51 entry. The looks of things. Spark coming in closely behind, putting in the Water Vein now. I just gotta wait for this cutscene to see what the time difference is gonna be, and it looks to be about, 14-15 seconds. That's pretty close.
Wow, and Spark, like, well over 30 seconds ahead of his average time on the Ginso tree entry. Very impressive. So this is a pretty good pace for Spark compared to his other races in the tournament. But Eviona, I'm sure this just is not the start to the run that they are hoping for, but still working through these sections strong. And this is actually like a really nice and relaxing part, I'm sure, for Eviona. And nice, setting up the Mr. Asmus in order to get a little bit of an earlier shot cycle there from the shooter. So nicely done, just a nice little small time save.
Yeah, in the meantime, Spark had some trouble with the gamer room here. He took a fall, didn't actually die, but he lost a little bit of time. Eviona telehopped through this room really fast, and it was nice and clean, but Spark had a bit of trouble, but not taking a death is the most important thing. He'll be moving towards the puzzle room himself now, as Eviona is tearing apart this mini-boss. This is the power of Quick Flame. It basically guarantees you'll get a 4 cycle, and an early 4 cycle, versus normal shots, which is very difficult to get a long 4-cycle, and it's even possible to 3-cycle with quick flame with this. Like, good god.
Yeah, that would be insane. And yeah, Eviona getting that 4-cycle on the boss, definitely really, really fast, where SpaRik does not have quick flame. So SpaRik's probably going to be hoping for a 5-cycle. The 4-cycle is possible, but it's like just as insane as a 3-cycle with quick flame. So I imagine SpaRik is going to be aiming for the 5-cycle. But nicely done, being able to track that 1-frame tell-safe to be able to catch the mini-boss over on the right.
Yeah, that's good stuff, and only 5 shots away from a 4-cycle, so that was like basically a 4.5 cycle there. Some intentional damage from SpaRik there to set up his health for the next death before Bash. Eviona didn't have to do that because when you're at 3 health maximum, it just works out on its own, but 4 health maximum causes some troubles for it. So Eviona making quick work of these redirect puzzles after Bash, and will be heading towards the Q-Dude now. Going for the upper platform save here is going to opt for a double Bash to make sure that everything's a-okay, and we'll be headed through the Q-Dude now.
Yeah, nicely done, and showing off some like really nice like dash ramping on these plants, and it's really hard for me not to laugh because this mouse cursor drawing these bash angles is really amazing. But it's like, this is literally what Evie is playing with. The screen resolution is so small, and the mouse cursor is a normal size for Evie. It's just scaled up for us here so that we have a nice sort of overlay for you to see. But Evie just drawing those bash angles so well, Sake, to be able to get through that section. That must be a lot more difficult with a small resolution like that.
Yeah, like I could not aim bashes like that, but no. Eviona's, you know, doing really well. Like lots of precise bashes, good angles through that part, and gets to that Q-Dude quickly. We're heading towards Swamp Entry now. Here comes SpaRik. He's going for the upper platform save as well, and once again, some intentional damage to set up his health for this next section here. Eviona onto that Swamp Entry, so we'll have to see how this trick goes. This one can cause people some trouble, but I don't expect Eviona to have too many issues with it. We'll have to see.
Yeah, it's very easy to accidentally miss a single bash angle on the frog and like send it to its death. And there's a lot of these bashes that Evie's gonna have to move all together to be able to get the frog over. But wow, look at that, 100% on Swamp Entry in this tournament. So keep your eyes on the left as Evie is going through. Nice double bash there to bring the frog up.
Even got the right shot first. That's really tough to do, actually. A dash glide in a short area over those spikes, but that's gonna save about 1.5 seconds for having that left shot first. So perfect Swamp Entry from Eviona, pretty much. And that'll be nice. Heading towards Stomp now. Gonna do a quick reload here to get hyperspeed through this door. And nice, got it. So SpaRik has gotta match that pace. Gotta get a first try Swamp Entry to stay in this, but man, Eviona's just playing really well through this section opening. Well, as misses a jump, but this backup is actually just barely slower to jump around the side.
Yeah, it's so crazy, Steve, because like, as you mentioned, Eviona is getting these tricks first try, but not only that, but getting that right shot actually saves a little bit of extra time. So even if SpaRik does get this first try, that was a little spooky on SpaRik's bash, but being able to get to the frog in time. But Evie's probably just opening up just little bits of a lead with their frog manipulation, but SpaRik, wow, putting on a clinic there and getting Swamp Entry first try as well.
Alright, so no avoiding this high five. Gumo's in on that as well. It's like a 3-way high five. It's kind of awkward. Gumo's got his leg in the way, and, well, whatever. We moved on from that. SpaRik grabs that hyperspeed out. Eviona, yeah, was trying to place a save for that frog and will, so maybe doesn't feel the best about this frog manipulation, but looks like it goes pretty well, and we'll be heading towards Kuro cutscene skip. SpaRik's gonna grab Stomp. Let's see how this goes for Evie. This is a precise position you have to stand and then bash timing to just skip over this cutscene trigger. And if it all goes well, nothing will happen. But it did not go well. There's a big bird. Oh my gosh.
Wow, and Evie deciding actually to watch this cutscene. Evie had the option to quit and reload to try the trick again in order to save a few seconds, but just saying, you know what, I am just okay with watching this. Maybe just feels comfortable with the pace that they're on right now, or just opting to not go for the second try.
Yeah, it can be unnerving to go for it again if you're not feeling the best about that trick at the moment, because if you miss it again, then you lose so much time over just having watched it the first try. But making, you know, a good movement through the rest of the section, getting that 5th energy cell. Spark's got to deal with this laser, but nothing to be concerned about. So let's watch Spark. Over here on the right, doesn't have the greatest success rate here at Heroic Seed Skip, but the setup is great, and he is in and through, so that's going to be a nice, big 17-second time gain for Spark in this segment.
Yeah, that's pretty insane. Like, Evie's still in the lead, but being able to close a large bit of that gap is the first step to sort of being able to approach this late game section where one big sweeping death could definitely cause a lead change. And Spark doing his part to be able to keep up. Evie going into this was favored, but Spark being able to keep up and have really clean play going through these parts is just so important to be able to match pace.
Yeah, that's right. And Eviona is now into the part of the game. Spike damage ramps up over time in Ori, and now we are introduced to 3 damage spikes, which happens to be how much health Eviona has. So any bite into any of these little, you know, spiky bits on the walls will mean instant death, and that can be a little scary, but Eviona's cruising through here quite effectively, and we'll be heading on to our next big trick momentarily, Fast Stones.
Yeah, geez, Sig, I'm just watching Evie work through these sections and like pushing these frogs around to be able to get through certain sections a little bit quicker, and just absolutely insane Evie to draw these really precise bash angles with this low resolution. But here's Fast Stompless, another precise bash angle. Evie takes this shot, likes it, takes a little bit of extra time. The angle did look good, used the visual cue, and the spider shot is going to make it in time. So let's see if Evie was able to close this out. And they do! Nicely done from Evie to be able to do that. And now TheSparik is going to have to match that pace from Evie.
Yep, so here he comes moving through the same section. Bit of a different approach there, using the left wall rather than the frogs. A bit slower, but a bit safer. That's kind of the sort of thing you might see. And TheSparik opts to place a safety save here. Not a bad decision. It doesn't cost too much time to drop that one. And, you know, it can be very, very tragic to take death in this segment coming up. So Evie's got Feather, Evie's got Charge Dash. It's time to go flying up to Sorrow.
Yeah, and Spark, ooh, that shot looked a little high off the ground, but he took some extra time to line up the angle, so maybe it's still a good sig. Gonna make it up to the ability cell, and it was good, wow! Nicely done from Spark, just being able to adapt to a shot not in the best of positions to be able to close out that trick. Very impressive this game.
Yeah, Eviona, meanwhile, gets through Sorrow Bash, missed 1 double bash, so lost a little bit of time on that, but gets through A-OK otherwise. Also is running with the UI on here. There's no dialogue in Sorrow, so nothing to worry about for that. And this looks like...
No! Oh! Eddie takes a death, and now Spark is actually slightly in the lead, being able to make it up to Sorrow Bash right before Evie, and so Evie's gonna have to go back over here to grab the energy. Now Spark, if they can get this first try Sorrow Bash, they are going to be able to get in and be able to make it in, and Evie taking 2 procs of damage from the bird is now only on 1 health, so frogs, the birds in here, are going to be able to kill them in 1 hit.
Yeah, and man, Spark tearing up the Sorrow, fast rocket jump all the way up here. Not gonna save before these spikes. Eviona wanted to make a save before these spikes and will. Spark taking a little bit careful on that experience here, but is moving forward. But just that little bit of hesitation led him, well, okay, I was gonna say the lead changed, but Spark who goes through and Eviona can't. So Spark's still in the lead because Eviona opted for that extra save. And, and we are close. This is insane race pace from Spark. He's been growing so much over the tournament, and he's over a minute ahead of his previous best race time at Charge Jump here, so he's got to be feeling good right now.
Yeah, this is exactly what Spark needs, this type of momentum being able to go in. Hopefully that they take this as a bit of momentum. Good news is that Eviona and Spark both need the 100 EXP in the spike corridor, in that perpetual prickly porcupine penitentiary, if you will, and then also to be able to pick up the petrified plant in this after they get through this vertical column. So both of them on the same route for experience, so we'll see how the laser cycles work out as they both try to come down and start to approach Misty Sig.
Perfectly picked phrasing there, Muffin.
Thank you. I practiced it for perfection. Oh man.
that was basically the penultimate description of Sorrow. Okay, moving on. We're both sitting in the Sunstone cutscene right now, or waiting for the Sunstone to drop down so we can skip the cutscene. Spark's just moments ahead on that reload, so as you said, here we go into the laser cycle. Is he gonna wait? He is gonna wait. He actually could have stomped immediately, but he waits. Let's see what Evie does. Okay. I mean, that works. I'm a little scared. I think I have some extra gray hairs, but
yeah, that is some confidence coming out of Evie. Evie just says, okay, you know what, it's gonna be quicker if I just get down a little bit further and get in between that. And look at that! Evie actually retaking the lead, but see, both of them have less than half of an experience wheel. What are they going to do to be able to catch that level up at the Misty mini-boss? It'll be interesting to see what our runners do to try and adapt for this deficit in experience.
I think they might actually be okay, because this level's 400, right? And the Misty mini-boss drops 250, so if you're a little bit under half, it's manageable.
Oh!
Because, yeah, it's early charge dash. Oh my gosh, there's the EMP control center. But didn't cause a death, so that's good.
You're right, Sig. I always forget, because I'm on the early C-dash routes, and then you have to take the 500 level up for that one. Interesting. Okay, yeah, so both of them are actually fine. Yeah. Whew. But yeah, Eviona making quick work of this Misty, just being able to eke out a slight lead advantage here ahead of TheSparik. If they can keep up this pace, as we fully expect Evie to do, they are going to be able to maintain a bit of that lead. And that's really great. Like, taking that big death in Sorrow has not deterred Evie from doing these really intensive optimizations that they've been showcasing throughout all this tournament.
Yeah, and this is definitely a big concern. This section coming up here, Eviona is just making quick work of it. Just great play so far, but note that any spike hit will kill Eviona in one shot, and there hasn't been a save place yet. We'll see if they opt for one here, but no. Might just hold on to the Keystone as no fear, just going through these spikes. Meanwhile, TheSparik, he did get hit. That took him down to 1 health. He placed the save, so he's at 3, so they're in the same situation. They'll both die to any spike hit. And looks like Eviona has an extra energy right now. Is going to save. That's a good decision there.
Yeah, I like that, because if you do really good movement throughout, when you get that energy crystal, it brings you up to 5, and you don't need that. But this meatball shaft, woohoo! Eviona gets through there. All of those spikes and meatballs would have been instant death, but now, going into the mini-boss with only 1 energy, and nails it. Nice bang zoom coming out of Eviona. That is a really nice quick kill. But TheSparik is really close behind. Had some energy problems, took a bit of damage, circling the 3 health, noting that maybe just not wanting to get that rocket jump through the meatball corridor. Oh, was dangerously close to the spikes as well. But TheSparik, nice adaptation to be able to recognize that that might have been a little bit dangerous to go up on the front. So he just walks to the left, now setting up a save, and also nails bang zoom first try save. What an impressive display from both of our runners.
Yeah, that was pretty good. The thing is, man, Eviona just blazed through that Misty. Going with 3 health is how it normally goes for Evie, so, you know, no extra nerves because of that. I think TheSparik was feeling a little bit on edge after having taken that damage, and opted to, you know, not do the rocket jump, not do some stuff like that. And that let Eviona open up more of a lead, but it's still really close. We've seen plenty of races in this tournament turn around at the end, and like they're definitely within striking distance. TheSparik could catch the up if Eviona makes any mistake.
Yeah, and Sig, with that lever manip, that was the last intentional death of the run for Evie. So any deaths that you might see from either of our runners is not going to be intended, but Eviona going to be the first to make it to light grenade tree. This is the final skill before our runners move to the final escape. This is so close. This is so close. It's coming down to Yoga cycle. Unreal.
Yeah, so that's an 1806, I believe, grenade pickup from Eviona there. TheSparik coming into the cutscene now. Okay, here's the one critical moment. Oh, I thought there was going to be a high 5 dodge, but TheSparik was in the reload. Eviona died though, so now here comes the high 5 charge dash versus grenade jump, and TheSparik grabbing grenade now, just like 24 seconds apart from where Eviona grabbed it, but Eviona did take that death going out, so TheSparik has made up a little bit of ground. They're so close to each other right now. Here comes Eviona grabbing this 4th health cell rather. We'll be heading toward fields. TheSparik's got to race on out of grenade now and get to that area as fast as possible.
And you know, we need to mention that TheSparik is on an insane pace right now. Over 1 minute and 20 seconds ahead of his fastest grenade pickup. This is just absolutely insane to see from him. What a run from TheSparik. But Evie going to most likely be the first to make it over to the Horu door, but only on 2 energy save. This can be so dangerous working through this lava field with only 2 energy.
Yeah, might have to opt for a bash here, but is not going.
Oh, the
stair cancels, of course. I was like, of course Evie would do that.
Oh my goodness. Wow, what a display. So you can actually cancel out a stomp right before you start heading downwards with like a glide or a jump, right, Sig? And then that opens you up for another charge dash.
Yeah, and that's kind of an Eviona only strat. Not many other people go for them, but well, they don't really save time because you have to wait for the stomp wind-up animation, but there it's pretty darn good, so that was pretty sweet. And Eviona just blasts through that door warp, no problem. He is at the end of the dungeon, and will be returning warmth just now onto the final escape. If Eviona can get through this escape first try, then TheSparik will be sent packing, but he's coming in fast. He's onto his door warp as well, and any death from Eviona in this escape, any damage taken at all, mean that they'll have to restart because they need all the health that they have for that final swim.
Yeah, if TheSparik wanted to take a victory here, this is the exact run that he needed to nab. And so it's all up to Eviona on the left. Do they make it through this final escape? And wow, TheSparik for the first try door warp. This is so close. Eviona takes a death from Kuro because wasn't able to make it into the poison water. So now TheSparik just seconds behind as Eviona is now blazing through the final escape on their second attempt.
Oh man, this warmth cutscene is pretty long though, so Eviona's already half done the escape by the time TheSparik's going to be able to move. And now, Eviona coming up into the water again, got caught up on the wall last time here, and has a wait for the fish to get into position. So fish is manipulated well, takes 3 damage for the first one though, and dies in the water!
TheSparik is in the lead, now heading down as well. And TheSparik is on 6 health, so they don't have to wait at all for the fish to be in good positions. TheSparik now making it to the poison water section. Is TheSparik going to be able to get through here and get a first try grenade jump? Or is Eviona going to be able to blaze through with these crazy optimal movements to be able to catch up? This is just so insane, Sig.
It's all TheSparik now. He had a 4 health swim. He's got to get this grenade jump fast. He's on the wall. He's setting up for it. Can he get the inputs?
He does! TheSparik takes the win! What a run! Unbelievable. Just being able to stay so close behind for a large portion of the race, and just Eviona taking 1 death too many. Oh my goodness, what a run. What a race. Unbelievable. Oh my goodness. I'm just sitting here, like my face is in my hand. I can't believe it. Eviona gets first try grenade jump. It's just the poison water swimming section, man. So brutal.
I can't. Oh man, my hands are sweating. Like I can't imagine what the runners are feeling like right now, because that was pure madness.
TheSparik finishing with an overall time of 32:17. It looks like. Whereas TheSparik's PB was a 31:36, so not quite hitting the mark there, but setting a really great race time. And Eviona is going to be finishing with a 32:26.
Oh, 9 seconds. 9 seconds apart. A grenade jump final escape turnaround once again. My heart can't handle it.
It's unbelievable. Like, what a performance from both of our runners. Just Eviona's movement through that misty section just blew my mind, right? Like 3 health and just like going through with no fear whatsoever to be able to pave their way through it. I just unreal. And then both of them in the light grenade tree area just nailing everything, and then it coming down to the final escape once again. Wow. It's another close race, man. And we've had so many of these. This is just unreal. So looks like TheSparik is going to be taking the lower finals here and moving into the division finals. And Sigma is going to be going into this as well for a best of 3 series. But Sigma is going to be starting with an advantage, not taking a loss yet from this bracket phase. So TheSparik would have to win 2 matches in a row to be able to progress to the round of 8. But Sigma is going to only need 1 win. But it looks like we are joined with our winner of this race, TheSparik. Just wow, man. Just wow.
Yeah, me too, man. I don't know what to say. I it was a little unfortunate. I've been watching the restream to see that Eviona had a really nice time and then died like 3 times in the final escape. And then suddenly when I was halfway through and saw that she died again, I realized that I could win this. And I got the final win jump and I actually won it.
Wow. Yeah, you did it, dude.
It's unreal. I mean, I'm pretty happy with taking the win because I was pretty close to what I'm capable to do, pretty close to my PB. And I basically knew from the start that I would only win if Eviona wouldn't have such a great race herself.
So tell me a bit about that. So you're watching the restream, right? And did you realize, like, when you were at these various trees that you were that far ahead of your best previous race time in a tourney race? Like, were you aware that you were running this well?
Yeah, I was well aware. Despite that very bad dash split, I was well aware of being ahead of my best race time because my best race time is a 34 flat. So yeah, I basically knew that this was for once the race which I hoped I would get, and thankfully I've gotten it in a race where it really mattered by like 3 seconds or what I've won there. Amazing.
Yeah, that was just an awesome turnaround. Now, I want to dive into a couple moments in this race. So let's talk about right after climb, where you took some damage and then you had to deal with some 3 health Misty there. What were you thinking? Just like, oh God, don't die, or what were you? How did you feel there?
Basically, short version is I didn't realize I was on 3 health. That's why I didn't take the save at the 4th keystone, which I normally do on 3 health to prepare for the rocket jump through the meatballs. And then I checked my health before the meatballs and realized that I was on 3 health and instantly decided to skip the rocket jump. So that whole Misty movement on 3 health was just me not realizing that I was on 3 health, which probably helped me, so I wasn't really nervous.
Oh yeah, that's pretty good. I'm glad you realized right before that rocket jump though, because it's so easy to take damage in that. I saw you like do the stomp and then like just stop, like jump. Like, oh okay.
Exactly. That was when I realized, oh, I'm on 3 health here. And I'd say that meatball rocket jump is the only reason why I haven't tried 3 HP yet. It's just so scary for me because 10% of the time you get hit there, and I really don't want a great run to die to that. And as long as I'm not competing for world record, there's really no reason to take the 3 HP. So I'll do
the world record has 4 HP right now.
Exactly. Thanks for reminding me. But yeah, Roddy is just very good in his overall movement everywhere else. So I'd probably have to take the 3 health if I got any way close.
Yeah, so coming into this match, you mentioned that you really were sort of meditative in that you recognized that your opponent needed to make some mistakes and you needed an overall clean run, right? And you did that. You achieved that goal. So coming into this, what were you sort of doing in the week leading up to this match to prepare for that? Were you like practicing certain segments? Were you trying to practice the big tricks, or were you just trying to do overall like no resets, or just play the game?
So basically all that has been before this last week was just individual segments for me, and so I really felt like I should get a nice PB sometime soon, and I didn't, basically. I mean, my PB is pretty nice, but not what I'm capable of. I've lost many great paces on Feather that were 50 seconds ahead of my PB, and that got me quite tilted. So the idea was to just keep doing more individual segments, and when I'm quote-unquote forced to do a run, like in this race, hope for the best, and looks like that worked out. I mean, I didn't PB, but just imagine if I had a normal dash time there, not the 750, but the 720, then it would have been basically my PB, so I'm really happy with that run.
Yeah, it was a great performance overall, and I'm glad to hear that segment practice is working out for you. I think you really just have to do something along those lines when you're trying to push down into those low 30s, because like just doing runs, I don't know, it works for some people, but it doesn't work for everybody.
Right.
It certainly works for consistency, which I don't have. So that's why I haven't had a great race time until now. But yeah. I think what also helped me in this race was that I was basically behind all the time up until Sorrow. When Evie messed up her Sorrow, that was when I realized that I could actually win this race again if she made some more mistakes.
Wow.
All right. Well, I've got
Yeah,
some
so-
good news for you, because in your next race, you will be behind the entire time.
might be a deja vu. Yeah. I mean, we've met before, but my PP at that time was, I think, 33-29. So I've become a lot more dangerous. So yeah, your consistency is still pretty amazing, Sigma. So we have to see.
Yeah, so TheSparik, so we now know your next opponent, which is going to be Sigmason, who is here also on commentary. So do you have any words for your opponent going into your next race?
I will be trying to win. There's one person in our predictions that believes that that has me make it to the finals, and that's Hydra's Coin. And I'm expecting to not disappoint. I'm trying to not disappoint Hydra's Coin here. So going for that 2-0, but we have to see. I'm definitely going to prepare a bit.
Yeah, that'll be a fun match. I'd wish you good luck, but let's just have a good game.
But not really. Yeah, me too.
Awesome. Well, Spark, congratulations again. Unfortunately, this means that Eviona is out of the tournament, but had a really impressive showing. And this race really showcased off how amazing they are at this speed game. So I'm really looking forward to see what Evie brings out as they continue to play more Ori. Sigma, thanks for joining me on commentary.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure, Muffin. And man, I'm looking forward to the next match, which I think you'll be bringing to us as well. That's going to be Elo versus Terra, right?
Yeah, Truche's sake. So Elo and Terra, two top tier runners, are going at it in their division finals. Elo is coming from the upper bracket, so Elo only needs to win one match, but Terra is definitely a threat on the board, capable of getting those sub 30 times, but needs to win 2 matches to be able to progress to the round of 8. And so joining me on commentary for that one is going to be Rory Rai, and this will be on Speed Gaming. So just hang out, go get a stack, go use the restroom or something, and we'll be back in about 10 to 13 minutes. See you guys then.